Oh yeah. I mean, he's just a beautiful, typical mule deer. I got a place on the wall for that deer.
Hi, I'm Guy Eastman, your host, and welcome to Eastman's Hunting TV. On today's episode, we're going to travel to southwestern Wyoming in pursuit of trophy mule deer bucks. We're going to be hunting with my dad, Mike Eastman, and his good friend, Wendell Fraughton. Now, Mike and Wendell have been hunting this area together for over 17 years now, so a big buck has a pretty hard time hiding from these guys.
When I showed up there the first time, they did, Wendell and those guys didn't know how to really judge deer other than spread or whatever, and I kind of educated them to it, and how to really look at a deer and know how good it is, and Wendell likes it to where the last day of the season, the last hour, you pound a deer. To him, that's really great.
Because he likes the experience, and he wants us to have an experience.
Yeah, well,
and we have so much fun together.
We have fun together. It's the two families, and their family and our family wait a whole year for us. We go down there and we have a good old time.
To tell you the truth, that wide one is a nice one, but I like this one better. Even though he isn't as wide, he's about as pretty 4-point you're ever going to see. See if he grew any in the past 5 minutes. The damn tangs are sticking up there. Yeah. No, you don't have to sell me on that deer.
He has to show me that buck because he knows it's a good buck, but he had hunters pass it up. The buck is only 26 inches outside.
He's looking right at us. That is a good deer. I'll bet you he's 180, and 180 is a big trophy mule deer this day and age. Oh, he's beautiful. That's about one of the prettiest mule deer 4-points I've ever seen. So, we're gonna look around a little bit more. Wendell wants to poke around here, but this buck stays right in here, and we might be, we'll probably be back and hunting him. I got a place on the wall for that deer.
Now the guys have returned the next morning with high hopes of finding the buck again.
Well, folks, I saw this buck yesterday, and he is a dandy. He's not very wide, but he is the most beautiful 4-point you can ever see. Typical, doesn't have any junk on. And I tell you, what we're gonna do is make a circle and go around. He's just below these Quakers by a dead tree feeding. He was there yesterday, and so I'm gonna slip over there, pop out. He's gonna be about 300 yards, we figure, and he doesn't even know we're around. Got the wind with us, and try to get this buck. So hang on, we're going on the stalk. Let's see what we get here. It's just right over here, feeding. It's just right here, 300 yards. Doesn't even know I'm there. This sagebrush kind of hides me. He's too busy eating. stops feeding. He's broadside, about 315. I ranged it. There he is. He stopped. Oh, that's a buck. That is a buck. Oh. Look at how his main beams curl around. And look at these eye guards, they're 5.5 inches. He's heavy, you know. Beautiful buck. Me and Wendell, the old mans, do it again. We saw this buck the opening day, but Wendell had seen, we were looking for a buck that had some cheaters, so he'd been in here, so we kind of passed him up first day of the hunt. And today, you know, even then when I saw him the first time, I said, Wendell, that's one heck of a good mule deer.
We walked up to him after I harvested, and he had 3 big long points off his burr. And, you know, those are scoreable points. I go, holy chrome, I never see those. So anyway, we scored him at 197 7/8 gross. I said, Wendell, this isn't right. Score him again. So we scored him again. You know, we being, we have Nate there doing the scoring. Wendell writes it down. I hover over everybody, making sure it's done right.
Yeah, right.
Comes up with the same score. I go, holy smokes. 197 7/8 gross. Well, funny thing is we come back to the office, so we threw these deer down there, and guy goes, and I said, geez, look at this buck. And he says, guy even said what I did. Yeah, that's 180 deer.
I said, that's a really nice, handsome 188, 187 buck. And I've never seen eye guards like that on a mule deer before.
Yeah, and I'm going,
Fooled me.
It's 197 7/8.
I thought it was your hover factor over the scoring system that gave you the extra 10 inches when you told me 197. I had to believe it for myself. You had Roger come in.
So Roger came down, who's Boone Crockett scoring. I said, Roger, score this buck for me. Okay. I just gross, you know.
We locked Mike in a back room, so there's no hover factor, and had Roger score it.
Scored it, 197 7/8.
Yeah.
And its main frame grossed 192.
He's the big buck no one wants.
Big buck nobody wants except me.
Oddball. Screwball.
No, I just been hunting mule deer for 60, no, 50.
Careful.
You're
gonna date yourself.
You're gonna age yourself.
160 years.
What a beautiful buck.
He's awesome.
Oh, I mean, we did it again, Wendell.
Yep, it is.
16 years of hunting together. Wow.